Fake! Fake grapefruits! Fake! Liar! You liar!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Technical difficulties, I think. Let's see what we got going on here. Anyways, we got the whole crew here. It is, folks, it is Sunday Night Live, and we've got the entire crew. Quick sneak peek. Oh, shit. Everyone, look at that. Look at that. They're all here. The gang's all here. But I'm going to start out. Fuck it. Let's just go for it. We got everyone here. It's the Knights of the Round Table on the zoo. And there we are. We've got it. We've got up at the top. This is kind of like the Brady Bunch here. We got Ooman. We got Vaughn, Backcountry Preps. We've got Taz from the Fourth Dimension. And of course, coming to us live from what beach are you at there, Chris? He's at some beach. He's probably in the Maldives in the Indian Ocean. But we're all here, and I want to raise a glass, raise a toast to everyone, get this show started. We got a lot to talk about.
Cheers.
Broston, down the hatch. Sunday Night Live. We talk about what you guys want to talk about. Now, all of us, all these guys here, we have a lot to say, but we're going to count on you to come up with questions, comments. If you want to do that, of course, we've got the super chat button up there. You hit that, or go to Cash App, or go to PayPal, and let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll talk about that. We'll all offer our opinions. And you got a pretty broad assortment of, looking at our panel, it looks like a lot of white privilege to me.
I'm still waiting for my card, man.
Okay. Anyways, I couldn't help. I had to do that. I had to go there. It was just too easy. But I want to start with, speaking of that, some cancel culture, Chicago style, right? In Chicago, Chicago, give me a freaking break. In Chicago, they reviewed dozens and dozens more of cultural icons, statues, memorials, right? And they've decided that they're going to get rid of a bunch of them because, slavery and white European, what do you want to call that? White supremacy. So I've got I want to start with this and there's more efforts. They're being made to cancel culture, the United States of America, folks. And so I say, why don't we cancel mass murderers who have killed, and not mass murderers who haven't just killed, a small massacre of a dozen, not just 100 people in a village or 1,000, but millions of people at a time, folks. Familiar names to you should be Lenin, Stalin, Trotsky, who killed tens of millions, including ethnic cleansing and genocidal attempts. By the way, Lenin, Stalin, Trotsky, they were all, get this, socialists. That's a theme that I think we're all starting to deal with, right? Those socialists have killed tens of millions of people in the name of their political beliefs, folks. Perhaps we should teach children in schools about these awful socialists who are still murdering people to this very day, and they want to murder us if we don't obey and kiss their asses. How about Mao? Chairman Mao of China. How about Ho Chi Minh and Pol Pot? Those socialists killed millions and tens of millions of Asians. Yes, more socialists who murder by the tens of millions, folks. And it is that who we should have statues of in Chicago, New York City, and D.C. instead of the Americans? historically who probably had something to do with the deaths of people, but not in the millions, not in the tens of millions, not topping 100 million, right? So I asked this question. Why worry about some old white dudes who were bad 150, 200, 250 years ago when we still have socialist bastards in the graves and they're still warm? And their political zealotry, their religious beliefs, their politics are their religion, folks. They're currently being propagated today by would-be murderers as we speak. These beliefs, which are political and religious in nature, folks, are still alive, and they're killing ethnic peoples today. Today. Not like our old white dudes they want to take everything away from, right? The socialists use their religious political convictions as justification for enslaving people. Folks, I know you, this entire panel over here, none of us want slavery, but socialists do. They just don't call it slavery. Right? No American wants slavery. No American wants murder, except the socialists and communists who are now living in our country. They want to murder every, folks, get this and understand it. They want to and will murder every Latino, Black, Native American, and Asian American, as well as us white European descendants, because we are deplorable to them. We are free. Anyone who wants freedom and liberty is an enemy of socialism. They don't care what color you are. That's why they can attack Clarence Thomas. That's why they hate Thomas Sowell and other, shall we say, people of color with an intellectual, just brain power beyond any of these idiots. Now, today's socialists call us Americans bad. We're bad for being descendants of others who 100, 200, 300 years ago lived during times of slavery. Really? Right? Today's socialists are the ones who want to murder and also send us to concentration, work camps, slavery. Also, never mind all the free Latinos and Blacks who themselves own slaves, folks. Right? People who were Latin before being called Latin was cool. Down in Central America, South America, Mexico, the United States, or the colonies. Right? Lots of them owned their own slaves. Now, slavery, yes, slavery. By the way, the entire Middle East and Africa have been guilty of enslaving every man, woman, and child. At least all those that they couldn't slaughter in the wars. I'm sure it numbered in the millions being sold into slavery, as well millions being killed in the efforts. And that was everyone in the Middle East and everyone in Africa. So those people of color were enslaving their own people and then selling them for money. Wow. Yeah, I guess as Europeans are really bad, right? Oh, guess what? Yes, after the United States outlawed, forbade, gave up, and abolished slavery in the mid-1800s, and it is 2022, so the mid-1800s, African nations and Middle Eastern nations continued to enslave and murder one another in numbers that make the American death tolls seem small by comparison. And African, Middle Easterners, and Asians aren't finished with all forms of slavery, folks. No, to this day, people around the world enslave other people. But not in our nation, not in the United States of America, right? Our white supremacy system doesn't enslave people. But socialists, folks, they want to tear down our history and our virtuous evolution, right? Because we've moved away from slavery. For some reason, they want to get rid of any notion of people who once believed that and then didn't. But, hey, the removal of artifacts, statues, and memorabilia of Americans that lived long ago isn't to protect the overly delicate, childlike minds of political, intellectual weaklings. It's to destroy our country, America, our founding, our history, and evidence that we're now a better nation because we learned from our mistakes and have abandoned those efforts to make others suffer. Our American history is of a people who grew and became more moral and abandoned old institutions like slavery and corrupt government, war for imperial control or socialist control. I'm almost done here. I know it's a lot. Yeah, America gave up slavery and mass murder, communism, imperialism, right? They sought to take over nations and murder anyone they could, right? Except for those who were most mentally timid, so they could be contained. They could be controlled, right? Easily. Now, is that what we want in the USA? We want to remove all the icons and lessons of history showing how we have grown, matured, evolved into a more compassionate and fair civilization? No, folks. We, the people of the United States of America, don't want our history erased. But the socialists do, and that's the efforts that are being taken now. It is the evil socialists who want America erased. All socialists want to erase our history, remove our institutions of freedom. They want to destroy our laws and crush our spirits. Oh yeah, socialists want to kill, folks, 7 billion people worldwide, so only 500 million remain. And those people, they hope to control them like slaves. Yes, folks, the people removing statues and monuments are pro-slavery, pro-murder, and pro-genocide. And if they win, they will create new statues and memorials of their new heroes to their new nation dedicated to state power and servile population. So I have this to say: wake up, shout from the rooftops. That's what this channel is about. That's what Uman is about, and Vaughn is about, and Kaz is about, and Chris, I'm sure he's about freedom and liberty. I'm pretty damn certain of that. Folks, the fight is real, the fight is on, and the fighting has already begun, so join us, right? The attempts to take down statues isn't really about slavery. It's about destroying America and freedom and making people want to reject America for disingenuous reasons. And now that I've laid these reasons out, now that you know them, be wise, be strong, take action. Understand that socialists cannot be satisfied. Give them one piece of America, and they will demand more and more until they've consumed all of our freedoms and prescribed a system that is alien to our understanding and beliefs. Socialism has evolved, enslaved, and murdered more people than any other group, meaning they've gotten good at it, folks. They've had a lot of practice since Karl Marx came up with the idea. Please do not accept their condemnation of our history, nor accept their accusations of racism and genocide by white supremacists, as if we carry the burden of guilt and responsibility for the past, right? We see and know our past. We know what was done wrong, and we know where we're at now and how we think, right? Their arguments are specious. They're radically disingenuous examples of logical fallacies we need to soundly reject. Socialism is the enemy of the human spirit, folks. It is the enemy of history. It is the enemy of every people, every culture, and every republic. And our republic, the United States of America, is far superior to any and every other government ever created. And though we're still not perfect, we strive to get there. So do not allow our past imperfections to be used as justification for allowing our own demise. Fight socialism and their imbecilic attempts to convince us to abandon our history, our accomplishments, our virtues, and our republic. It is evil what's coming, folks. It's evil. Only evil that is corrupt within our nation is them, the socialists. They are a cancer. Capitalism is not evil, folks. Corporations using authoritarian socialism, aka wokeism, right? They are evil like the Soviets and the Nazis. Socialism is the destroyer of all that is good, folks. Learn what they are, who they are, and their history. Learn socialist history and learn who they are. And we can use our own history, true history, as a guide to dealing with the usurpers worldwide. So attention, World Economic Forum, DC, London, Beijing, Moscow, and Davos, Switzerland, and all other dens of snakes, because we the people are awakening and awake, soon to be wide awake. Read our Declaration of Independence, folks. It is alive and it is true law. And prep to action. I think I've said enough. I didn't think I wrote all that much, but here we are. Anyways, I wanted to get that rolling right out the gate and kind of set the tone for what's going on. Do any of you guys want to open up with like an opening statement? Let us know what's been on your mind this week as shit has really taken a tumble.
I guess I'll take the one. Yeah, going along with those, Yeah, I can't believe we're seeing the removal of these statues are paramount to American. They're trying to erase history. They're trying to create their own history, their own narrative, and maybe crazy to think that it would be a benefit to humanity. I think it's ridiculous. It should be a crime. Matter of fact, I'm sure it is a crime. That doesn't worry really about law. It's a travesty.
Hey, Vaughn, we're having a bunch of trouble with your audio. Can we get you closer to your router in some way to get you get a little more clearness?
Yeah, I'm currently at a park. Got the kids at the park. So, sorry about the quality here. I'm surprised it's not working.
That's all right, man. We're just glad to have you here and sharing. Chris, I think you had something you wanted to share as well.
Well, I mean, to respond to what you just asked about, the one aspect of socialism is population reduction. I mean, the millions of people that have been killed under the name of socialism is just shocking if you do look at the history. And I don't know the numbers as clearly as you do, but I think we all know it's in the millions. You've covered a little bit of this week, but just kind of the blatant declarations about not having any choice. You won't have a choice of what you get at the grocery, anything like that. It just shows you the disconnect right now is so amazing between these authoritarian know-it-alls and the general population. And, people don't know what to do. I mean, we don't have a microphone, and, every aspect of media or protest has already been covered. It seems like this time around, it's a worldwide effort to just make everybody poor and send everybody into poverty. I did do just some kind of, if you don't mind me being Captain Obvious here for a minute, that I kind of go back, you following your guidance and a lot of ideas you gave me, I prepped. I've got 2 years worth of food stocked up, and I have no more room for more food. But what I like to do, because it costs a lot of money, I look into, was that a good investment? And even though I haven't had to eat it yet, I just want to point something out, man. And I know you've got your own supplier. Who's your supplier of foods, canned, survival?
We've got Thrive Life Foods, and then
I'll let you put in a plug for them. This isn't working. Okay. Somehow it picked up my drink there we go. Now you can see it. This is Augustin Farms powdered egg mix. Okay. When I acted on this 10 months ago, I bought like 6 cans of it. Okay. And I thought it was kind of expensive, $27, but it's 46 servings, which I assume is like a 2-egg omelet, something like that. And it came out to like 81 cents a serving. You can still buy eggs for 30, 35 cents each now, which is still way high, but a 2-egg omelet is going to cost you about 60 cents. But in this form, in this canned form, that's going to last you 25 years and maybe save your butt, it's a little more. I expected that. It was 81 cents. Okay, so I went to Amazon today to look up my previous orders, what I paid, and I looked at what they're asking for this now. And I'll bet you if there was a way to take a guesstimate from everybody, nobody would guess that it's on sale now for $83, and I bought it for $23. And that is 20% off of the $104 per can price they had just a couple of days ago. And I just feel like we're at 1 minute to midnight for major food crisis. And, we've got droughts across the northern hemisphere. It's a perfect storm. The Rhine is running dry, so they can't even transport oil or goods through the Rhine, which is a major conduit for trade. And we've got shortages on everything. They're trying to kill the petroleum industry. Petroleum is where a lot of fertilizers come from. They're building up. I'd say if I lived in Germany, I would be definitely stocking up on winter coats. It's going to be a very cold and maybe possibly very hungry winter there. But one other thing too, okay, I buy these 1 pound pack. I got to hold it close to me, I guess, for it to show. I buy these 1 pound things of ground beef. This is why does this show
Hold
up?
it in front of your chest, Chris. Hold it in front of your chest.
Okay. So this is 1 pound packets of antibiotic-free, 85% lean, grass-fed beef. Okay, it normally costs a little bit more. I stocked about 200 pounds of this when it was $5 a pound. Today it's $7.99 a pound, 60% more. And by the way, these are actual 1 pound packets. When you go in the grocery and look at these packages of hamburger now, I went into Publix, same thing. I can still get it for $5.99, but it is a 12 ounce, not a full 16 ounce pound. So they're really, beef, any kind of commodity you can imagine is going to go a lot higher. And I know I talked about precious metals last week, and I feel a little foolish right now because everything else I look around at is up massively. And these are things, buying a little silver or gold, that's a choice, and that's a luxury, and that's for your discretionary funds to buy just a little of. This stuff here, there's no lack of demand. There's only lack of supply. So investing in these food items, I think, even at these higher prices, is got to be emphasized because they're just going to go higher. That's
right.
That's what I
Thank
had.
you, Mr. Chris. Oh, you got some more? Oh, hey, Kaz,
No,
I'm putting
done.
you in the hot seat, man. What do you think about the shortages, the food inflation, that sort of thing?
Food's gone up. The last thing I read was like eggs and milk and dairy, your basics. Hey, the tornado's coming or the snow's coming. We got to run to the store and stock up on the basic. I think I read it was like 23% in the last year or over this year. Just your basic bread, eggs, cheese, that kind of nonsense. Food shortages are going to be a major factor, but I think that's just a small piece of the puzzle. I think it's an overall complete multifaceted attack on the very fabric and way of life of this country. Food is a small. It's look at any invasion, right? Any type of action against an adversary. You cut off communications. What are they doing? They're censoring us. You cut off the logistics for the food and the transportation and diesel and everything else. What are they doing? They're jacking the prices up. We're having fuel shortages. Going after the food. It's multifaceted, and it's clearly an attack. Now they're weaponizing the economy with the IRS. 87,000 new IRS agents. That's in addition to what they've already got. That's apparently what I read. I could be wrong. Quote, if I'm wrong, let me know. That's going to be the largest government agency, period. More than the DHS, more than the TSA and FBI.
Kaz, Putin only sent 190,000 troops to Ukraine. This is half the troops that Putin sent to Ukraine.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's just, again, so it's all being weaponized. Everything is weaponized. And there's so many people out there, it's driving me nuts, that just haven't been able to shake off whatever insomnia, sleeping drugs that they've been taking, to see that it's all around you. And we just have to admit it's a small piece of the plan, and the only way to get by or to try and slide through this is self-defense, food, gardening, prepping, basically prepping.
Yep. Yep. What do you have to say, Mr. Uman? I see you down there smiling. A font of wisdom is Uman. You have to turn your microphone on, man.
Okay, somebody muted me.
Well,
The energy thing in Europe is pretty scary. I mean, like you guys were saying, with the rivers drying up and the transportation of products going to be problematic, and the gas lines possibly getting completely shut down. I mean, they're only running at 20% right now. And from what I understand, this is the time of the year where they're usually filling all their reserves and compressing everything and putting it in there. So it's not like they're getting that gas from Russia out of that pipeline and putting it straight to the people's houses. It's going into the reserve tanks, and that's what they have to get them through and distribute from. Hear a lot of talk about wood stoves, of all things, not green, selling like crazy over there. All these clean energy people now all of a sudden are going to go out and start buying wood stoves and burning wood to heat their houses. So
right, the lefties always do get it wrong. They get the opposite result. They're burning more coal than ever.
Oh yeah, I mean, burning wood is much better than burning coal, right? If everybody's doing it for themselves in their own homes. That whole NIMBYism is coming back to bite them in the ass, and it gives me a lot of schadenfreude to see this happening. I mean, I feel really bad for the folks over there that are going to suffer over this, but all the years and years they've been pushing all this garbage down our throats. I mean, I think until it really bites them hard in the ass, they're not going to wake up and go back to some kind of reasonable energy policies here. Right. The cost of that wood, from what I'm hearing, is absolutely going through the roof as well. I'm hearing anywhere from like $1,000 to $3,000 for a cord of wood. And how many cords of wood do you need to heat your house?
Not just the burning is outrageous, but deforesting your country at the same time. I mean, don't trees clean the air? Take in CO2 and give off oxygen.
Right.
Totally the opposite of what the green agenda should be.
Yeah. Now, when these people, if they can't afford to be spending $1,000, $2,000 plus dollars per cord of wood, and for however many cords of wood they need, or they can't get that wood, they're going to go out and start chopping trees down and burning, wet wood, which is going to cause even more pollution. Because, for firewood to burn properly, you got to season it. And you can't be chopping down trees in the middle of winter and expecting to be able to throw that stuff into your wood stoves and getting some clean burns off of that.
Right. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. And we got Vaughn is in the van. So hopefully he'll get to some better reception. Before I get to the next topic, I want to ask Chris, down on the beach there, have you noticed that all the bush has been cleared? There's no bush anywhere.
Well, as little as possible. Every once in a while you get a peak of some, but not much.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, I've heard that at the beaches it's heavily deforested. All right, yes. I'm going to raise a toast here. Darcy T has sent in a super chat donation of $100, and she says, "Here's to my cousin Jen." Now, Jen, Darcy let me know, has recently passed, and you can guess what Darcy is suspicious of being the cause. An otherwise healthy woman passed away, and she says, "Jen, you will not be forgotten. Salut." So here's to Jen, another family member gone. Prayers and condolences to you, Darcy, and thank you for supporting the channel. And tonight's special beverages is the Ben Ryack Scotch Single Malt. Now, Thank you very much, Darcy, for always being there. And we're going to move to some super chat donations, and we're going to get some answers out of our esteemed Knights of the Round Table. So, Jolene, if you are ready, let's put up some questions. See what the heck? Oh, man. And we've got Blue Cord Devil. And any super chat donation, $50 or more, is going to get us to take a drink. And I want to say, God bless America, Semper Fi, and everything else. Thank you, Blue Cord Devil. Prayers to you and your wife. Hope everything is well. Down the hatch, and hopefully we don't get too schnockered. Whoa, okay. I'm going to refill in advance. By the way, Kaz down there is taking a sabbatical from drinking the devil's liquid. and of course, driving in California, Vaughn there, he's not allowed to touch the hooch until he's got the water. Anyways, Blue Cord says, read an article today. A doctor is saying that all his patients that took Jim Jones juice are sick or dead. They are finally starting to come out against it. Good golly, this follows right in line very well behind Darcy's comment and loss, and again, condolences on that. When it touches you personally, it really means something different when you see it for yourself. I've got a bunch of people here who have passed, but I'll be talking about them later. Ooman, what's your opinion on this? Are doctors going to start coming out and actually telling us their opinions?
Well, I don't know. I mean, from conversations I've had with one of my doctors, it's like she doesn't disagree with me, but she won't say, "Yeah, you're right."
Oh.
So it's kind of a tiptoeing around the subject kind of thing. I mean, she knows my opinion on the matter, and I just kind of get a little smirk. And I think there's just so much pressure from these networks that they work with, and these doctors' organizations and the insurance companies and everything else that I think that they basically know their careers are going to be ruined if they don't go along with it. And, you may not get that so much like in a small town hospital or a local or independent doctor, but how many of those are out there anymore?
I know that some doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners, they're trying to form small, private, independent groups. I'm sure taking insurance and getting that set up is difficult, but they're trying. I know they're starting to try, and people are paying, and I think rubber chickens and bananas. So how do we get from here to there? That's a big question. All right, Chris, what have you heard about this? Do you have an opinion?
No, I just lost a couple of buddies, that new friends I had made here in Florida, just mid-50s, suddenly disappeared. I know both of them probably were vaccinated because they worked for the city. One of them worked for the federal government. The other one worked for the city. It's just sad to see people that should have 30 or 40 more years left just vanish one day. You just don't see them anymore. It really, that got to me. And Darcy's story, it's tragic, and I hope for the best. I hope for the best for a lot of people.
Right. Kaz, man, what's your opinion on this topic? Microphone.
Anger. Lots and lots of anger, man. I mean, how can you not be? A lot of these people, I think, were, they were sold the lie of do the right thing, be responsible, and they believed it, regardless of, and it just goes to also show the media manipulation of how well they silenced the people that were saying, no, No. Be careful. Research. There's not much else you can do. And I go back to the whole. It's full scale assault on all of us.
Yeah. It's hard to disagree with that when you start looking at the number of people both injured and dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here we go. 49-year-old high school principal and former Super Bowl champion. Guess what happened this weekend? He died while riding his bicycle, exercising. Another just transformational human being who rose to that level and just he dies. I mean, it's terrible. And now here's a 25-year-old Houston Astros outfielder, right? During the game, he had to leave because shortness of breath. I mean, take a wild guess. It's not just people dying. It's the injuries from this Jim Jones juice, and they pushed it. And like you're saying, the timid took it. The weak-minded, uninformed took it. The people who wanted to virtue signal, they took it. And it seems like only the most stubborn amongst us that said, I ain't buying this shit, are the ones who are best, right?
The pressure was just incredible. And I mean, a lot of people didn't have a choice because it was either, okay, we're going to cut off your source of income for your family and you're going to lose your job, or you take this shot. So,
Right. It's crazy. It really is. I have people send me emails, Chris, and they tell me about people that have been injured or killed that they know. I know people that have died or been injured by it. It seems like it's touching everybody. But for me to see super athletes, people who have committed their lives to good health. I mean, these aren't George Floyd's taking a pound of fentanyl a day, and having a heart attack.
Was everybody noticed the sincere apologies from the CDC? Who's noticed?
Oh, really? Can you forward that to me, please?
Yeah, there hasn't been. It's just there's no accountability.
Yeah, truly. It is incredible. Okay, Jolene, I know we've got more super chats that have lined up. And we've got Luke Thompson with a $10 super chat donation. He says this money goes toward Uman's new microphone. Go! I think Uman did get a new microphone, though. I think he did.
I got a new camera. I didn't get a new microphone. I mean, all the chats we were doing before the show were fine. I was chatting with people all weekend for hours, and it was fine. It just seems to be StreamYard, and I'm getting a little crackling on Chris's, too. But it's not apparently as bad as mine was.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you.
I got to talk to my handler and get me a better microphone or a better internet connection or something.
There you go. But I think you have the absolute worst green screen among all of us. So yeah, maybe.
Hey, at least they got me a good green screen. It's all three-dimensional and stuff. I can walk around in it.
All right. Jolene, who do we have up next? Oh, by the way, we got 424 people live. I bet we can get to 500 if all you peoples out there would share that internet address. Here, let me see if I can point it up a little higher. There we go. That internet address right there. Share that with people. They need to wake up. And this being the Zoo Sunday Night Live with the Knights of the Round Table, it's just it's a glorious thing, I tell you, because I think we're getting the message out there. People are waking up. Now, we're far from being ready to fight a 1776 battle, but people are waking up. Okay, Jolene, let's step forward. Let's see who that was. We had Joseph Valo with a 5556 super chat donation, and I had it ready because I think it's going to be that kind of night.
And a long kind of week ahead.
I tell you, it's getting good already. And Joseph says, smash that button, the thumbs up, and have a drink on me. Thank you, Joseph, for supporting the show. I'm going to – I maybe need to get some dinner. All right. If I just fall out of the chair, Chris, take over, buddy. We started off with a bang. Thank you, Joseph. But truly, folks, being prepared, it has never been a more serious message, even though we try and have fun. But it definitely gets dire and gloomy if you allow it. Don't let it beat you down that way. All right. Let's move on if we can. We got Jay Miskinis in with a 123 super chat donation. And he says, you get 61 cents out of my $1.23 super chat. Wow. He says, I am 61 years old this month, having been born in 1961. Thanks for the multi-person chat. Bad audio is better than no audio. And now we have no video of Vaughn. I think he drove off the edge of the flat earth. He's over there on the West Coast, and that's what happens. I mean, right behind Chris there, you can see the edge of the planet. Can't you see it?
I hope he didn't drive into the sinkhole that leads into the inner flat earth.
Well, there is that too, plus wormholes and all kinds of crazy shit out there. You never know what's going to come next. I tell you, you have enough of these, and I got to refill this. You get that's okay there, Vaughn. We love you, brother. You get enough of these, and you start thinking some strange thoughts out there. Here we go again. Let's reload. And then thank you, John, for supporting us. John, and many other people besides the Johns send me emails and support and information all the time. I want to thank you guys for it. It really does keep me on my toes, trying to keep up with everything. Let's do another super chat donation if we're good. Oh, good golly! It is Timothy Mahoney. Everyone, take a look at that mug there. That is Tim, and he is a millennial. He's a very rare millennial. He's known as the millennial unicorn. He has a job, he pays taxes, and he uses his brain. They're very rare. I'm just teasing you, Timothy. Anyways, he says, one thing to keep in mind is the simple things you can do to stay healthy and in the fight. Good hygiene and fitness go a long way. These two things are overlooked and can mentally break a population down. Let's leave that up there, even though we can only see Uman's left nostril. Let's keep that up there because it is really, I think, a very intelligently phrased question. And I want to get your guys' comments about health, hygiene, fitness, and the brain, right? This is the Prepared Mind channel. And I prepared mine yesterday with Worcestershire sauce and a searing hot pan, but just kidding. Yeah, let's have Kaz. Kaz is rubbing his hands. I think he wants to address this.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, we did a little get together training thing, and this is spot on, 100%, man. It's funny. Your brain says, I'm in my mid 40s, and my brain says you can still do all these things. My body says, man, no, not so much. So, the whole fitness thing and all that, it does matter, and it helps. There's so many outlets for that, and that's again, what is the first line of prepping? You, period. Right. I mean, all the other stuff. I'm guilty of this. I'm gonna freely admit when I'm wrong. Sitting around watching TV, drinking beer. Yeah, that's great. That's fun and fine. But in the end, when you can't, break contact, run, and sit down, or you're stuck in wind after going, 30 yards of that, you realize fitness is really, really important. As is the hygiene thing. You get sick, dysentery. It's all a mess. So that's a spot on assessment, 100%.
Right. You young man down in your 40s there. Chris, I think you're in your 20s. What's your take on health and fitness and mental acuity and preparedness for the trauma that we're going to suffer mentally and the difficulties we're going to get physically?
Well, I mean, actually, yeah, I'm 3 times that 20s. I'm in my 60s, and as you know, I communicated with you, and you visited a couple times, and we went out on the beach and connected with nature, but at the same time, we're doing long hikes, and then it became a daily thing. And Kaz is absolutely right. We can talk about all kinds of things, but if you don't have your health, if you can't function, you've got nothing. And Timothy's spot on with that. What I found is it doesn't matter how much exercise. You don't need to get ripped. You don't need to really do anything. If you start off if you haven't been exercising, my recommendation is pick a course. It could be just around your block, and day one, do one time around the block. Day two, it becomes a mental challenge that also supports blood supply and gives you stimulation to keep going. And then you're outside, and you realize that no matter what's on Fox News or CNN, the world's still spinning. Birds are still flying around, grass is still growing. I'm fortunate enough to be able to hike on that beach you see right behind me every day, and I'm just grateful that I can. But my parents, they lost their mobility, and when they lost their mobility, that was the beginning of the end for them. And I just think that no matter what it is, even if it's limited mobility that you have, challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone and just push a little bit harder every day, and it makes you feel tremendous. It makes you feel better. And that's all I got to say about that.
Cool. Oliver, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I destroyed my knees at work over the many, many years here, and it's hard to get out and do any kind of running or anything. But I definitely agree, getting out, walking, riding the bike, whatever. You just got to stay active. And fortunately, in my job, I'm still very active. Just running around all day long. I don't have time to go to a gym nor the energy at the end of my day, so that's the exercise I get.
Do you think
I say the hell with the gym. The gym is boring. Get out in the world.
Yeah, I try and get out. Unfortunately, I don't live on the beach with Chris, sadly. I could afford a spot under a bridge down there, but really, what I've noticed with exercise, and I was out yesterday in paddling through mangroves, avoiding alligators. I saw a dolphin. It was kind of interesting. But just you clear your mind, and then you can feel your body and you feel your health. It gives you perspective. It was strange. I was out there. It was absolutely silent, except for the sound of the paddle hitting the water. And every now and then I'd hear a jet fly over, and it reminds you, oh, shit, there's a planet out there. It's easy to forget where we're at. Exercise helps you clear your mind, strengthen your body. But when we get back to where we're at right here, thinking about what's coming up this week, it's incredible, how that exercise strengthens the body and clears the mind and allows us to clearly address what's going on. Being prepared is the same thing, I think. If you've got, like Chris, you've got an ample supply of food, water, what's going on out there, you've got some self-defense items, you live in a good area, you combine all of that, when things get worse, and they're going to get worse, being prepared, you're going to be in much better condition. Jolene says she's got more super chat donations, so let's get to them. Thank you again, Timothy Mahoney. And he's back. The same Timothy Mahoney, the same smile, with a $4.99 super chat donation. And he says, I can confirm the Rhine River is low and not as busy as it was with barges. I got my Carhartt and ready to roll. Cool. Thank you again, Timothy. The Rhine River, folks, flows from, I think, Switzerland through Bavaria, Germany, and then down and dumps out into the ocean up there on the north end of Europe. It's been a passageway for traveling and commerce. I believe it's also used to cool power plants, nuclear power plants, as well as transporting goods and services. It's just another indicator that we're having trouble, and government is doing everything it can worldwide to make things worse. Worse. You concurring with that, Kaz? Microphone, buddy.
Absolutely. Sorry, I don't know why I keep hitting mute, but yeah, absolutely, 100% agree.
Yeah. So Timothy is over in Europe, by the way. We have people around the world. It's just incredible how the internet is just a powerful tool that allows Uman up in the greater Chicago City of Love area. And Chris is down there in Florida. Kaz is, I think he's in the south side of Pittsburgh down there. He got arrested this weekend but I was able to call an old friend and allow him to join us. But don't worry, Kaz has got really good duty working the soap bar shower handout system. He's good. Oh. All right. Yeah. As long as you don't drop the soap, you're good, Kaz. Remember that. Don't drop the soap. Okay. Jolene, who do we have next? All right. We got Shelly Chavers with a $10 super chat donation. And she says, regarding Jen, who is the cousin of Darcy T, who has passed away. So she says, regarding Jen and others who have passed for that same reason, I am so sorry for your loss. I hear you, Shelly. Now, what's incredible is there are people who have suffered neurological damage, suffering strokes. A friend of mine, I don't want to use his name because it's such a rare name, people would know who I'm talking about. A guy I met down there, well, he lives that way. Anyways, he lost, he almost died. He couldn't breathe. They carted him off in an ambulance. He was gone for a long time, came back, still can't breathe. I mean, the damage done physically to the body is incredible. I've read reports from doctors. I've got reports from morticians. People are just stuffed full of clots. I mean, they don't, when we call it the clot shot, yeah, it's kind of funny. It's a cute name. It rhymes. Yay, we're smart. But it truly is a medical condition that is horrifying to consider. And to think that these young men, these super athletes that we're always talking about, whether it's on Kaz's Fourth Dimension or Chris's show or Uman's show or anyone's show, there's people just keeling over. They don't know that they're now like one breath away or one hard exercise away from just keeling over. I mean, a baseball player, I know they run around a little bit. They run the bases, but they're not running as hard as football players do for 60 minutes. And they're falling over and dying. It's swimmers. Who else am I missing here besides, but these are super athletes.
Do soccer players count?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not in America, but everywhere else. And it's not just the elderly and it's not just people in their 50s. It's not just, it's everybody is succumbing to this shit. Crazy stuff. All right, let's move on if we shall. And Jolene's got more. She's digging. She's looking. And it's Mr. Skylight with a $49.99. He came in 1 penny under, but I'm going to drink anyways. Oh, like mother's milk. Woo! Thank you, Mr. Skylight. He is another one who sends me information. And if you're a premium member of the preparedmind.club or a premium member on subscribestar.com, the Prepared Mind, you'll get a lot of links to these articles, doctors, reports, etc. And a lot of those come from Mr. Skylight, who's out there digging every single day. Chris, Kaz, Uman, we look shit up. We try and verify it the best we can. Sometimes it's just opinions, but we try and verify stuff and get you real information. Mr. Skylight has his quote of the week, and it's, beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. And that's quite interesting. I think we can apply that to your health, right? You can apply it to your finances. You can apply it to your preps, right? If you have one hole in your system, that could bring you down. So make sure you look at what you need to get by in the event of a economic slowdown, a loss of supply chain. Do you have water, food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You may think you live in a great area that's safe, but within 10 minutes or 30 minutes could be a bunch of idiots who are more than willing to travel the distance to your home and try and put a bullet between your eyes to get the food you have. So just understanding that, I think, will go a long ways. Okay, Kaz. Is there another topic that's jumped to mind?
We got to talk about the IRS.
Okay, let's do it. Chris, are you ready for this?
Ready.
We're talking IRS, man. Here we go.
Yeah, the recruiting video. I know all you guys have saw it.
Well, describe the recruiting video, man. Describe it for people who haven't seen it.
So the recruiting video was okay. Originally, it was like Thomas Massey I think he's a House member, tweeted out, these are the people that are coming to put a gun, basically a gun to your head from the IRS. What that actually was, because I was trying to find more information on that. That's been my highlight for the week because I was laughing so hard. What that actually was it's a recruiting thing. It's not that was not a training. That was not an IRS training thing. It was a recruiting thing at a college that they go and they try to recruit people who are in accounting, the accounting majors and things like that, to come over and work for the IRS, et cetera, et cetera. As hilarious as it was, everybody, I especially in my circles, a lot of people were dismissive of the 87,000 new agents. They're like, if this is what they're hiring, well, I'll just put stairs in the front of my house and they won't be able to get me, and I kind of shook my head. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I wanted to find more out about it. So as a recruiting thing, that's great. And those people that you've seen that were the laughing ones, those are the ones going to be pushing buttons behind a computer and on a calculator. The ones that you don't see are the woke military members that have been recently discharged that may have gotten their GI Bill and took accounting. The law enforcement guys who are woke necessarily and say, hey, it's a good government pension, it's a solid paycheck, I'll go over and work for them. It's not just that. I think it was one of those things. I was actually going to do a video, but I'm in jail, so I can't do a video. YouTube's got me in jail about it. But it was one of those things where don't dismiss what they're showing you. That's just a small portion of it. The actual people that the CID, the ones that are going to come, kick your door and shoot your dog, they're not going to be those that they showed you that video. So I think that was kind of a propaganda piece, to lull everybody into a sense of safety for that.
Right. Chris, do you want to talk a little bit about this IRS step up? Who do you think they're hiring 87,000 new agents. Not all of them are going to be gun-toting, root and toot and shoot everyone up. Who are they? Why are they here?
Well, I think you and I chatted about this today. I gave that question directly to you, and I think that your idea that it is a multi-front attack is probably the most accurate. First and foremost, it's a message. Year after year, we saw Wesley Snipes, Willie Nelson, Martha Stewart. They always get some high-profile person to crucify for taxes in front of everybody to kind of scare the populace into, oh shit, I better include that lawnmower I sold in my garage sale. It's a fear tactic for one thing. That video was really hilarious. I may have missed your conversation on that during the weekly show or Kaz's show about it, but it looked like a bunch of really non-frightening TSA workers, from every walk of life. They had every race, they had every creed, color, and every sex and gender. I'm surprised he didn't have a man in a dress there also, but it was pretty funny, and it looked like a high school play, that quality of acting. But not to laugh about it. They already have over 90,000 employees as it is. And now to add another 87,000, I don't think the government's effective enough to gather enough taxes to cover the cost of all these guys. Look at it this way. First of all, you brought it up. There's only about 400 billionaires in the country, 500 billionaires.
Right,
so
in there, yeah.
They've always been able to handle those. These guys hired Deloitte or some big firm to represent them. They're not going to put a dent in that. What really makes me wonder, though, is most of us can't escape the tax code. They freaking confiscate it out of our check before we even get to touch it anyway. I don't even know why we fill out this math problem every year, this complicated math problem they already know how much we made. I mean, the extra that may go on is marginal, but I tell you where there is a lot of black market, one would say, and that is in the poorest communities in the United States. The bodega in the Spanish community, the grocery in the black community, the drug trade, which no matter how you feel about drugs or whatever, that's the way a lot of people make their money. I remember this is like the early 90s. I came up with a software company and I called it Artel Systems. Artel, I just thought it was I meant to come up with something like Google. It didn't mean anything. I just called it Artel. All of a sudden, I have all these Russian programmers applying to work for me. And I'm like, wow. And they were brilliant. They were the best programmers out there, brilliant mathematicians, great computational experts, great programmers. And I started asking, I wonder why I'm getting, Dmitry and Boris and all these guys are wanting to work for me. It's because Artel in Russian meant a black market business. And that's what.
There it is. There's the connection.
Yeah. So, of course, we cleared all that up, and I still had to take taxes out of their pay. But it was interesting. But I wonder about if this is only going to exacerbate the black market in the United States with this many revenuers running around, and the fact that taxes are already at a confiscatory level for even, especially with inflation. I know there's a ton of people that make under $50,000 a year, but as you get up over 60 and 70, the progressive tax rate they just start grabbing more and more and more. At the same time, everything's costing more and more and more. So I think that you're going to see a lot more black market activity as a result of stepped up tax enforcement. Everything the government tries to do works backward. It has the opposite effect. If you offer women, infant, and child care, you get more kids. If you confiscate more money goes underground. So and I think it's going to affect actually the poorest communities the worst. They already know how much I make. It comes out of my check. They know. There's no low hanging fruit there.
Well, I think you're right. It is kind of ridiculous that we have to put in paperwork because they know what we made. I guess they just can't. They can't estimate what our expenses are, so they wait for our expense reports, compare it to the amount we made, and make sure we paid enough. But having 87,000 new agents out there, the billionaires, they won't mess with them. I mean, they could have them greased, actually. Millionaires, they have the best lawyers and accountants. I think it's really designed to intimidate and scare the political enemies of the left. Obama demonstrated that he could turn the IRS as it was at the size it was back from 2008 to 2016. He scared the living shit out of everybody. He went after patriot groups. He went after the Tea Party. He went after his political enemies. Even after he was out of the office, they continued through the Trump administration to harass their political enemies. And I think it's done, and it's being done to silence people who are like, oh, I don't want the IRS to come and get me. If you pay your taxes and they send you a bill saying you owe us another $200, Chris, are you going to argue with them or just pay the $200?
Oh, heck no. I mean, they've got an army of attorneys and red tape they can tie you up in and then add fines on top. Yeah, you just pay.
You just fucking pay. So this falls right under the Declaration of Independence, sending forth armies to eat out of our substance. That was one of the things that the founding fathers, and they were white European males, right? They realized that the people, all of them, regardless of color, age, gender, whatever, in America, were getting screwed over, and that the people that were being sent to screw them over were essentially living off of the screwings. We pay for our own oppression, in other words. It's a topic that has always frustrated me that we can't do anything about. Did you want to weigh in on the IRS agents there, Uman?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that the people that are going to be affected they're going after the rich. Well, what they don't tell you is they redefined what the rich are.
Yeah.
So, anybody who's not putting in a 1040 easy or, something like that, or they're not going to bother with them necessarily. But, anybody that's filing anything a little more complicated, and if there's anything that they don't like that they're doing, they've got plenty of ways to go after them. Because, people don't go to H&R Block because they got big accounting firm money. And, they can go after them and intimidate them into bending to do whatever they want,
Yeah. And let's see, the clowns in the IRS that we see represented as the new recruits in that video Kaz is talking about, they can make a mistake and it doesn't cost them a dime to drag you into IRS court or to present you with a bill, and they get to show that they've done a great job. It doesn't cost them anything for making a mistake. If they were told you make a mistake and it's going to cost you that money, they would have a whole different song to sing. But there's no penalty for being a crooked agent or a crappy agent, No,
that's lawfare, right?
Lawfare, yeah. Warfare with some law thrown in it. Let's do this. I'm getting a message from Jolene, and nothing. So how about a super chat donation? We got Johnny Freedom Seed. He says, considering the IRS, what powers do they have to be able to do things for that other three-letter agencies can't do? This has been in planning for years as they have been spending money on ammo and pew-pews. As always, Semper Fi. Thank you, Johnny Freedom Seed, for the great super chat donation. And what the IRS, they have been stockpiling ammunition, guns. So is the Postal Service. Am I missing something there? Here's your mail and give me your money. How does that work? Do we want to see Cliff Clavin with a M16 walking down the street? but then I tell you, maybe Cliff Clavin does need that if he's delivering mail in South Chicago or San Francisco or LA or Baltimore. Maybe they too need to be armed. But seriously, I don't think they need to be armed. Just craziness. I don't
know about you guys, and I'm divorced, but I am still thinking about maybe I can bury my wife on my property at the tax break. Call my property a cemetery, and
Hey, if it's legal, why not take advantage of it? They're the ones that make the rules, and then all these clowns want to criticize everybody for following the tax code and paying as little taxes as they have to.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to describe what that was, John, about the Trump tax break.
The Trump tax break, burying his ex-wife on a golf course. It's just I'll avoid that. I'll avoid that a little bit.
I'll just say, ladies, if you see your husband in the backyard clearing an area and a new shovel in the garage.
Yeah, that goes for everybody. Yeah, if they're buying gardening instruments, make sure they buy seeds to plant as well and not just digging a hole. You're not supposed to plant any seeds greater than 3 to 6 inches. If they go past 6 inches, run. Run if they're digging a big hole. Yeah.
Oh, it's for water catchment.
Oh, it's for the water. Yeah. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible what's going on in this country. And it's all happening concurrent. We're seeing the problems with law. We're seeing the problems with the government bureaucracy. We're seeing problems with the food, the water, the fuel. Everything is happening at once. It's like all of a sudden, everyone in government has just lost their minds and their intelligence in a literal fashion. And they're doing the exact thing. As Chris said, everything they do is having the opposite effect of what they say it is. the Inflation Reduction Act looks like if you're half intelligent and passed economics 101, it's going to cause inflation. I mean, it's just they're doing everything they can to make it worse. There's never been a better time to have lose your mind to become a prepper, and I really think that's why these panels that we have, the people that are putting videos out. Chris is in the world of programming and computers. Kaz is in that world. Uman over there, that direction. He's in machining, manufacturing. I built a couple of houses in my life, right? It's not just one group of people. It's everyone who has a critical mind, looks out and goes, this just isn't right. It isn't right. Okay, let's see. I've got another topic I want to bring up. We haven't touched yet tonight, but Jolene says we've got some more super chat donations, so let's get to them. It's your show, and it's Miss Marilyn checking in with a $20 super sticker. Thank you, Miss Marilyn, a great supporter of the show. Make sure that I have a good deal of spam. Now, Chris, he's got, he says 2 years of food. He's got some powdered stuff, and he's right, folks. The prices are going astronomically high. I remember saying, food, it's like an investment now. You may not be able to afford gold and silver, but just your food alone is going to go up in value. So if you bought food a year ago or 2 years ago, it's now worth 50%, 100%, 200%, 300% more. It's incredible. For a $25, $26 can of eggs, Chris, to go up over 75, that's a 300% increase. There's no stock in the stock market that'll go up 300% in 1 year. But your food is now way more valuable. Incredible. Anyways, thank you, Miss Marilyn, another great supporter of the channel. Let's step up and see who we got now. It is Blue Cord Devil again with the 762. And folks, that's quite a round. I know Kaz likes the 762. I do as well. Uman, I believe you have a 50 caliber, 50 millimeter cannon that you mount in the back of your El Camino there.
Oh, we got that new fast loading cannon on top of the mobile command center.
Excellent. Good. Anyways, Blue Cord says, hearing all this talk about fitness, I remember being the fittest in my 20s, and we all were raging drunks that our country trusted with missiles and guns. Yeah. That's, yeah. Yeah, boy, I tell you, that was the military. Everyone, let's go get blasted and loaded. We'll figure out how to fix those airplanes when we get back. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, it's incredible. The shit we used to do. Anyways, yeah, we got to get, I think I was in my best shape in my 40s. I'm in my 50s now, and I'm starting to slow down a little bit, but I subscribe to the Crispy Bacon exercise program, which is just do something and keep doing it. And you'll feel better and look better, and you'll be beating the chicks off with sticks. And if you're a chick, you'll be beating off the guys.
Oh, now you got Nikki's attention.
I couldn't help it. Had to go there. In fact, Nikki's in the background somewhere. I gave her, and Nikki was nice enough. She sent me Frontier Pistols and Revolvers from the World of Arms by Dominic Venner. Thank you, Nikki. She also sent me 1 dozen Florida-grown avocados. And I just have to let them ripen a few more days. Thank you, Nikki, so much for that. And the nice greetings. And she sent me an egg collection device. She gave me a birdhouse. I'm like, Nikki, you give me a birdhouse, I'm gonna wait for birds to get in it, and then I'm gonna take their eggs, because I like omelets. So, anyways, thank you very much for all. Let's go with another super chat donation, Jolene. We got Red Pill Files with a $19.99 super chat donation. He says, you guys put on a great show. Topic: are jet chemtrails real? Drought conditions around the world? We're how's the weather controlled? Kaz, you've got a sardonic smile. Let's hear what you have to say about chemtrails.
Oh, one of my favorite topics. It's like the frogs thing with my buddy Alex.
Yeah.
No, The whole chemtrail thing, I love how the government they've actually admitted it. There's documented, you can Google it, weather modification. It's been going on since the 50s, cloud seeding, da 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 da. It's absolutely real, and it's man-made climate change. See how that works? Man-made climate change. We're fighting man-made climate change because we're the ones that are doing this to be able to change the climate. That's my personal opinion. I know a lot of people are like, that's conspiracy theory. And I'm like, all you got to do is Google. It works. I mean, it's real. So, chemtrails, absolutely real.
I was just watching a video that had something to do with this right before the show. And they were talking about that Tonga volcano or whatever that erupted in the middle of the ocean. And I thought it was
Vanuatu?
some Tonga volcano or something. I don't know. This was a couple weeks ago. Middle of the ocean there. I think is that out by the Philippines or something? Anyway, they were comparing that to that underwater volcano erupting versus like one of the other volcanoes, where normally when a volcano spews ash into the upper atmosphere, it reflects the sunlight and causes the earth to cool. And they were citing some of these old volcano explosions where they claim there was like a 3 degrees Celsius drop in the earth's temperature for like a 2-3 year period afterwards. Mm-hmm. But apparently, when an underwater volcano blows up and drags some of that seawater and that water vapor up into the upper atmosphere, it causes the sunlight, it lets the sunlight through, but then causes it to stay trapped on the earth and causes the earth to heat. So apparently, the sunlight only goes through water one way. The machinations that these people go through to try to justify this global warming crap is just amazing. I mean, if the ash is going to reflect the sun off of the outer atmosphere, why wouldn't the water vapor do the same? How does it let it in but not let it out? I don't know.
Chris, you're in Blue Sky, Florida there. Do you want to weigh in on weather modification? What's your opinion there, buddy?
Well, I mean, I know, as Kaz says, I mean, there's technical specs on how to seed for rain. I mean, there's in fact, I'm a precious metals guy. Apparently, they can seed it with some silver oxide, so and make it rain, and that's proven. But as far as conspiracy theories go, I mean, after the last couple of years, I don't think anything's off the table. Pretty much, what do they say? Conspiracy theorists are now what they're fortune tellers. They're, just about anything that you imagined, they've been up to. So I don't know very much about the chemtrail thing. It sounds like a perfectly diabolical plot, which falls right into, that. I mean, we've got a bunch of diabolical people in charge, so it makes sense to me.
Yeah, we finally have real-life James Bond villains who have come to the public's attention, from Jeff Bezos to Klaus Schwab. These guys truly look diabolically evil.
That guy's just one white cat short of a
white cat short. Yeah. It's like well, that's all they're missing, is the whoa. I mean, they're purely evil, but I believe that the chemtrails have an effect, whether it's localized and temporary or whether it has a longer term effect. I'm with Uman though. Clouds reflect heat. If they didn't, then standing underneath them, as between the sun, like a cloud goes by and you get shadow, you're like, whoo, got a break from that Mississippi sun, So I know it has an effect. The more white shit they put up there, yeah. But at first it was global warming, and then they went to just climate change. Now it's man-made climate change. It's all, I think, suiting their political agenda. I mean, one day they tell us it's getting warmer, it's fault. The next day they tell us it's getting colder and it's our fault. I think they're doing something. What it is exactly is hard to say. But they are. I think the weather can be affected. But again, to what degree and how permanent, I don't know. I believe that this shit they're spraying on us could have health effects. I've had some researchers, tell me that they're like, no, this has a detrimental health effect. They spray one day, it's this mist that stays in the air, and the next day people are coughing. This is someone who works in a hospital in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So it's hard to say. I think it's real. There's always, if they're going to spend money, use the military and keep it secret, I think there's a purpose behind it, whether it's beta testing or going out with a full-on great reset. We're going to kill you, your cat, your dog, your vegetables, and everything else. Hard to say, but I got to tell you, our record as conspiracy theorists has really been improving as of late. Starting to look a lot more credible than politicians who are never right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what if some brilliant CDC or government scientist says, hey, I know how we can cut down on the cost and get more compliance on the vaccination. Let's mist the whole area with medicine. Nobody will have a choice. They'll breathe it in, and no more donkey pox or whatever.
Yeah. Oh shit! Don't get us started on that one. Yeah, you're right. We're going to put fluoride in the water, and you don't know that it's actually a toxin that affects the brain in a very negative fashion.
The other thing I heard about, with whatever it is they're putting out there, if it's metals and stuff like that, that's also contributing to the severity of a lot of the wildfires that we're experiencing too. Because
I've heard that theory as well. Yeah,
these chemicals or whatever are settling in there, and it's causing the fires to burn hotter and burn faster or whatever, and that's why we're starting to see such a big severity of the fires compared to previously.
It's probably not understood, but missiles or rockets, they don't have liquid fuel. They have nanoparticle metals like magnesium, aluminum, and other metals. They're nanoparticles, and they're just waiting to oxidize. And once the oxidation starts, it literally burns like a sparkler. The old sparklers, they're magnesium sparklers. They had a metal rod, and you'd light them, and kids would run around waving them, and the metal would get so hot it would bend the steel rod in the middle. We're like, here, kid, have some hot flaming shit to play with. It was great when we were kids. But that's magnesium, and it burns at this super hot whiteness. And here you go, kid, point that at your sister's eye. That's smart, right there. I love dumb and dangerous fireworks. But truly, yeah, all of these metals, they could spray, settle on vegetation. And once it's ignited, it burns freaking hot. It could help explain some of it, but yeah. What a world. What a world. Like that beach right there behind Chris. That's all gunpowder. He doesn't know it. One person drops one cigarette, Chris is going to go up like a tater tot. All right, Jolene, let's do some more super chats. We got Blue Cord Devil with a 762 super chat donation. And he says, I got email news from the Veterans Administration, the VA. They had a job offering for the Internal Revenue Service. Should I apply? My answer is yes. You'll make lots of new friends. It would be great.
And keep us informed.
Yeah. It seems that news is going to come out about what they're really doing and what they really, what they want to do. It would be nice to know what they want to do to us ahead of time, but I guess we'll find out the hard way. Go ahead, Blue Cord Devil. I double dog dare you. All right, let's move on. That was a good one. To another super chat, and we got, hey, it's our good buddy over in jolly old England. It's Stephen Conlon with a £5 super chat donation. Oh, man, bad news. Shit. Stephen Conlon says, my sister-in-law just had a heart attack. I advised her not to get the jab 12 months ago. Coincidence? Stephen, I don't believe in coincidences, brother. I really don't. I believe in a good scotch. I believe in a good time on a Friday night, but I do not believe in coincidences. Anyone want to address this? It took 12 months to be a coincidence?
Well, I
Well,
think we're gonna learn. We're all gonna learn what the half-life of this mRNA modification is. Let's hope that the amazing human body can repair whatever damage has been done. That's my hope, is that we do have an incredible healing power, and let's hope that somehow everyone can be cleansed of this, and we can slow down these horrible statistics.
yeah, I mean, we can't, to be realistic, we can't attribute every single passing to this stuff. Because, I mean, people died before it, they're going to die afterwards. But, without getting the real data and the real information and honest information, we just don't know what the extent of this is.
Yeah, the data is so corrupted and so obscured and so biased and so damning and so incriminating on so many levels. And the people providing the data are the ones who were recommending the original action. So, I hold out little hope that we're going to get a lot of clarity on this. Documents have a way of being completely expunged, shredded, bleached, disappeared, and I think there's a lot of data here that's missing.
Statistics lie and liars use statistics, right?
Right. Especially
Hey, I use
those
statistics.
that
You
would
calling me a liar?
go to jail for what this data shows.
This is interesting, it addresses what you were just talking about. J.P. Sears, he's the redhead. He's the ginger that does comedy on YouTube a lot. He says an unknown cause is the leading cause of death. And it just made me think, I thought, great, he's using humor, satire to make a very salient point. All around the fucking planet right now, we're hearing from every country that says, we don't know what's causing all the deaths. All of a sudden, it's funny, in all our brilliance, all our glory, our technological wizardry, all of a sudden, doctors can't figure out what's killing people. All of a sudden, right? It's a fucking mystery. We don't know now. All the books that have been written, all the brilliant scientists, and no clue about why people are dying in greater numbers like never before. I mean, just give me a fucking break.
Yeah, it's almost a six-fold difference from the norm. 6 standard deviations above the norm for certain age groups.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You can attribute everything to it, but for fuck's sake, to say that we don't know what's causing this? What is the one, pardon my F-bombs, but what must be the alcohol talking? What is the one fucking thing that has changed? The one major factor. We have women having not only their menstrual cycles jacked up, which I know is going to screw up hormones, which is going to make other men's lives horrible. Not only that, Kaz, that was a joke, man. You should be laughing right now. Not only have their menstrual cycles been screwed up, but on a more serious note, the loss of babies, stillborn babies is now appearing. Young men. I mean, I've got an article here about a fucking 16-year-old young man, not a 20-something-year-old, not a 49-year-old, not a 70-year-old healthy person, but a kid. And these kids are dying, and nobody wants to say what it is. No one wants to take a wild guess.
Nobody wants to admit that we never used to see these stories about, high school kids having heart attacks in the middle of a basketball or football game. I mean,
right?
It's unprecedented.
What is it? Occam's razor? Yeah. Occam's razor, the simplest, explanation, usually the right one.
I got a story here from today. 16-year-old boy dies from a fucking heart attack playing frisbee at a family gathering. I mean, when I was a kid, I would in PE, I would run from the beginning of the class where they were playing soccer, football, flag football, whatever the fuck it was, and run. I would go back to class. My head would be glowing bright red. I'd be all sweated out. I did the same thing at lunch. Just as kids, you just run everywhere. You can't kill kids. Now they're like, hey, don't play Frisbee. You could die of a heart attack. You know, put down those chess pieces. They're too heavy. I mean, give me a fucking break. We don't know. And you're right. It's not every single death. I know that, 1% of the population has hidden health things they don't know about and they die. But the number of deaths is just stunning. And I like that word, stunning. Sorry, I had to get on my hobby horse there.
Well, I think isolation and anxiety is also something that, people literally die from loneliness, and they die from lack of contact. They die from loss of identity because their job is gone. The psychological effects are also nobody's tallying anything regarding that, but it's a common sense thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And also nobody's talking about the increase in the self-deletion rates.
Self-deletion. You're talking suicide.
Yeah.
I think that is also being underreported. Man dies from high-speed lead going through his head. We don't know what caused it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's going to get worse. Okay, Kaz. Are you thinking about that soap again?
No, I'm over here reading the chats.
Okay, they're pretty good. By the way, everyone who doesn't know, these three gentlemen here are all Blue Wrench owners. These are all moderators on the Prepared Mind channel. So I'm glad that we have some systems in place to make it a friendly chat zone where we all get along and we all talk nice. Anyways, I don't have time to watch that because I feel like I'm herding cats with the questions. And it's fun, it's fun. I love having you guys out there because I know we all want the same thing. We want good discussions. We want sharing of information. We want people to be prepared mentally as well as physically. I think we have those things in common. And between you and the long-term chatters and subscribers, we got one hell of a good crowd here. It makes me proud as punch. All right, Jolene, of course, behind the scenes also. And it's Marilyn Myers with a $9.99 Super Chat donation. And she's got a comment. Here it goes. It seems to me the so-called new IRS college students training vids might be after the fifth thing John tells us to have. Let's see. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Okay. Certified letters always worked before. No reason to go tactical. Medicine. That's a very interesting thing. No reason to go tactical. Certified letters always worked before. Could these IRS agents be looking for something that we're not aware of? Right? Could they come to your door? Remember how we heard, it could be anything. You could have medicines you got. You could have self-defense items, things freedom seeds. We had, what was it? Was it ATF agents, Uman? Yeah, it was ATF agents that were out knocking on doors. Say again, Uman?
You're talking about the knocking door to door thing and checking on the purchases?
Yeah. Asking, show up at your door, knock on it, say, I'm a government agent. I'm here to ask you some questions. I want to see, please, your weapons you bought, seeing if people weren't straw purchasing. That is, I go buy a gun for someone who can't buy one legally. I buy it, then he buys it from me legally, and they call that a straw purchase. Yes, self-defense. Thank you, Marilyn Myers. But I'm looking past that even and saying, what else could we have that the government can use an IRS agent to go after? Right, Chris, I believe you used the term revenuers, which is a more traditional term to describe carpet-bagging scumbags who need to be tar and feathered tax collectors. Revenuers, they can get you on anything. And this was something that King George did back in 1776 and beyond, was we want to make sure you paid your tax on everything you have. And a government that's been, shall we say, invested with the authority to make that demand, you are guilty until proven innocent in tax court. That is not a constitutional court. Tax court is an administrative court. It's a court of equity, not a court of law. And if they say you have to produce papers or you're guilty, then you have to produce the papers. So whether
it could be all kinds of things, right? It could be they want to check and see, how many bedrooms your home actually has. I mean, if they get, how many toilets do you have? How much water are you consuming? What, all kinds of things. I mean, I think she's spot on about the self-defense tools. That's probably low-hanging fruit because law-abiding citizens are on a registry somewhere for those. But gaining access to your home, the right of search and seizure, being able to crack your safe and open it up, let's just see what you got in there. It could pertain to all kinds of things. Open up a huge Pandora's box. How many?
I agree 100%. I'm glad that Marilyn brought that up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just it. Once you let Dracula, a vampire, in your house, they can come back anytime they want without asking permission. What I'm afraid of is I removed all the mattress tags off of my mattresses. But really, thank you, Marilyn. That's a great point. These agents can be used to enforce anything. When you mentioned, Chris, how much water have you used? Well, we have a new EPA regulation that says you're not allowed to use that much water. Or if you do, we're gonna fine you and tax you. It's incredible, right? You've contributed by so much wastewater to polluting the environment. Who knows what crap they can use, especially to go after who? Their political enemies.
Well, if they're gonna hire them, they're gonna put them to use. Thank goodness I never got a knock on my door from. Wasn't there a bunch of people knocking on doors about getting the shot for a while?
Yeah.
I mean, I never saw any of them around here, but they'll figure out a use for those people to deploy them in some fashion.
Well, if they come to my place, I'll feed them to the alligators. They can never get enough alligator chow.
Well, hey, what is it? The ESG scores? They could come and audit your ESG score.
Yeah. Well, that's another one. Yeah.
Time to get a mean-ass dog.
Well, there's dozens, if not hundreds, of videos on the internet, Chris, of people having their pet shot by law enforcement who felt threatened by that little Jack Russell or Terrier or Shih Tzu, as well as pit bulls, Rottweilers, and other really expensive dogs as well. It's just
And
what do you do
with the temperature of this country right now and the climate of it? That one thing, shoot somebody's dog, it is not going to end like it has in the past.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are past that point of putting up with that stuff.
I think it's getting there.
Wasn't there just a case recently about somebody shooting the guy who shot his dog, the cop that shot his dog, and he got off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some woman just cut the dick off of the guy who raped her daughter. People they're taking the law into their own hands, because the justice system is failing, and we're seeing it, I think, play out in unusual manners.
It's the first steps to civil war.
Is it getting normalized in this country, in a lot of places, that the police just aren't coming?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, man. Alabama City Council abolishes the entire police department due to racist texts by officers. So, police officer sent a racist text. So, yeah, they're like, yep, we're going to get rid of the entire police department. That's a brilliantly stupid move. But it just happened.
What do they consider racist anymore? I mean,
anything they want.
I mean, it's become so subjective as to how they feel that day or about that particular person. I mean, it's not cut and dry. There's no standard for racist.
It's who's saying it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how that goes. All right. Oh, well, and this racism crap, I think it's all coming from the left. in Berkeley, California, if everyone knows where that is, that's where the hippie movement, the Haight-Ashbury district, all that shit was born there, probably under the rainbow flag. But there's a co-op there that is banning whites from common areas. Right? So there's blatant racism by the leftists. I don't believe this is the black or Hispanic or Asian community saying no whites. It's coming from socialist leftists. And same with this move, on the other coast, with this Alabama City Council defunding it and getting rid of an entire police department. How many days is it going to be before people are screaming because the crime just shot out of control? 3 days, man, 3 days. 3 days. This is the German 3, man. Remember, this is the German 3. And that's the white supremacist 3 right there. Ooh,
this must be the Polish 3 then. Sorry.
All right. I know we've got more super chat donations, and it is, holy cow, one from Cottage Farm for $100. That means I've got a scotch that is going to go where no man has gone before, literally, down my throat.
How long did you think about that one?
I'm glad I didn't sip right as you were saying that. It seemed like beer spraying out of my nose.
I'm so grossed out.
I accidentally just made that one up just now. Unbelievable. Thank you, Cottage Farm.
Bravo.
Oh, yeah. Ben Ryak. The Spacey single malt Scotch whiskey. Woo! Okay, anyways, yeah, Cottage Farm actually had something to say. She says, what if the new IRS agents are more like digital soldiers? 87,000 digital IRS agents. Central bank digital currency is coming, and so they'll see every single transaction. Therefore, they'll need more agents.
Yeah,
I think there's more to this because we got a T that's chopped off. Chris is our resident, my resident. He's the only guy I know. No, he's not. Chris, what do you think about these digital agents? Could that literally be what it is? To collect tax? Central bank digital currency.
They certainly are in collusion with or in contract of some kind with Google and Yahoo to scour the web for, they basically pay money to Google to gain information on what everybody's typing and where they're going and what they bought and all that. That's been admitted and out there that there's contracts and they do that. I could see new artificial intelligence creating a situation where they dispatch someone almost immediately for someone misbehaving online. I don't know, or buying buying or selling on eBay something they're not reporting. I have no idea, but that's a digital agents with actual people carrying out search and seizure operations upon the information.
See, I would think all they'd need to do that is add some more servers and computers and expand the programming. But I think the actual agent is more of a physical, intimidating presence than getting a letter in the mail or an email or something,
This is where I have an incredible amount of concern. I think Chris is right. I think Cottage Farm is right. They can create computer algorithmic programs that search your credit cards, your central bank digital currency, your bank account, your pay slips. Everything that we've done is tracked, and it can be done with the computer, and they can say, hey, why don't you focus on those Republicans over there, right? So they do that. So what's the point of the 87,000 other agents? All they have to do is shut down your bank account, levy it, put a lien on your house, have a tax lien sale, sell your fucking. They can get their money 100 ways from Sunday. So why do they need armed agents who are willing to serve high risk warrants and detain people, arrest them, and possibly kill them? Why do they need that? What do you got, Chris?
What if this is? The trend is toward more and more and more control and more
Yes.
more monitoring of everyone's everyday life. Maybe they're getting ready for, let's say, in a situation where you had food rationing, and John, you bought way too many sausages, and we have a new purpose for the Internal Revenue Service, and that is to control not profits but also spending.
Control your spending.
I mean, if we get into a real the scenario, I think that is quite possible, where we'll have, we had gas rationing in the 70s. What if gas rationing in the 2020s is, now we know who cheated and bought too much gas.
Well, could those armed agents for the IRS be sent out to collect the food or other property that was bought?
This sounds like a whole new agency full of people. They'll find a use for them, and they must have some use in mind.
Right.
The current existing 93,000 or so that already, hard to believe that it takes 93,000 people to solve a computer math problem of our taxes.
Right.
But they already have 93. This is an additional 87. They have some additional purpose for these people. And I don't think they, if they're going to do an audit, I don't think they're going to send 6 people instead of 2, like they normally do. I've been audited. I had an IRS guy sit down at my kitchen table before, long time ago.
Hey, 6 people's a fire team.
Yeah, there is. Oh boy, I tell you, there's a lot to think about here. There truly is. I think that these agents, everything it's multi-purpose. It's for more than one, just one thing, and they're being trained as law enforcement officers and almost CERT team training is what they're talking about. If you're going to have IRS agents kick down the doors of people to arrest them, it's not because they got too many food stamps and collected too many prizes at the local grocery store.
I don't
remember
think
those
they
stamps.
want to arrest people. I think now that we're talking about it, I think they want to expand the scope of what the IRS does, and we don't know what that expansion is because they got enough people. We had, you look at the statistics through the Obama years and the Trump years, we had record tax revenues.
Right.
They really, compliance, as far as I know, wasn't a huge problem. They were record revenues every year. So they have some expansion in the scope of what the IRS does. And they really don't have another agency that's in your underwear the same way the IRS is.
Right.
In your financial.
Yeah. The financial side. Very good, Chris. Yeah. Very good. Shit, we're at 1 hour and 50 minutes, guys. It seems like we just started drinking a minute ago. I got some good news, though. Jolene sent me a message and says we have more Super Chats donations. So let's do it, Jolene, and see where we're at. Oh, shit. It's Nikki, Bad Nikki. Doing Stuff with Nikki gives us a 5150. And for all of you in the know, 5150 is the emergency code for crazy shit. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever met anyone funnier, more active, more alert, and maybe more crazy than Nikki. So here's to you, babe. Oh, man. Okay, Nikki. She said over 50. So she picked Van Halen's 5150. And yeah, you had me at big stick and beating. Now we're getting somewhere. Smile, Chris. Rock and roll forever. Yeah. One of these days, next time, Nikki, next time we do the Knights of the Round Table, should we get Nikki on here?
Yes.
No, look at how man's waving me off. No, not a good idea. I say yes. Let's get Nikki on here. Nikki, Pay attention there. We'll get you on here next time.
I
Nikki has
think
some
she
great
would be a
opinions
hit.
on
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, if we get Nikki on, we're definitely going to have to make it a Saturday nights at the round table. Or I might miss Monday and Tuesday from work.
Okay, yeah. Well, Nikki's a handful. God bless her. You know, I think we'll probably have to have somebody duct tape her to the chair though to keep her still. All right, I'll do that. Okay. We got. Oh shit, we got a 5762. Blue Cord Devil says double dog dare. Sorry you win. Not going there. Okay, I tell you, man. Blue Cord Devil. Thank you, brother. There we are. Oh, man. Karen,
Okay.
there we go again.
Yeah, I see a lot of like over 50s up on the screen here. This is
Oh shit, that's what Jolene was saying. You guys are screwed.
I took a good night to quit drinking.
yeah, you picked a good night, kids.
You coward. All right, let's see what else we've got for stuff. We got Luke Thompson with a $5 super chat donation. He says, on the lighter side of life, I love high school football. I tell you what, I like high school football more than college football. And the only reason I can say that is when I would go watch the games, it's because I knew the kids playing or their parents, and it just made it all the more exciting because you know who they are. You go to college football, all you're waiting for is the cheerleader to lose her skirt or some shit. Whole different game. All right.
Well, these days, you don't want some of those cheerleaders losing their skirts.
Oh shit, not now. I tell you what, man, a few years ago, I went down to see my son, John, when he was in college. I was at Pier 39. Is it Pier 39? Yeah, Pier 39 in San Francisco. And there was two colleges there. They're cheerleader squads. They were having a cheer off on the boardwalk. It was really entertaining. It was Stanford and the Cal State Bears. And they're the ones that had that game where the band ran out on the field and the dude ran through anyways, like 1981. But I kept looking, and this is like 6 years ago? It was like the first time I ever talked to Chris B. Bacon on the phone. I was like, I'm down here with John in the Bay Area. Remember that, Chris?
Yeah.
That must have been That must have been like 2016 or some shit. Anyways, I kept laughing at this one fucking cheerleader. She was like 6'2". She had a big giant head and an Adam's apple, and I kept laughing. I'm like, that is the manliest cheerleader ever. And little did I know that shit was already started, But some bystanders thought I was being a little bit mean by criticizing the big muscular forearms of the cheerleader. I thought those pom-poms must weigh a lot. All right, let's move on if we shall. Let's the alcohol talking. We got Stephen Conlon. Once again, folks, he's from England, jolly old England, letting us know how things are going over there. Thank you, Stephen, for the 10-pound super chat donation. Thank you again, brother. Really, we love getting information. We've got you there in England. We've got Vincent Boyle in Belfast, Ireland. We got a few people over there. We got a Mick, at least one Mick. And then we got that dude from Scotland last week. Was that last week? Yeah, we had a guy from Scotland. Anyways, I already forget his name because alcohol kills brain cells. Children, don't do what I do. All right, Jolene, let's move on some more and see what we got next in the super chat zone. We got some questions. We got some comments. I think Jolene fell out of her chair. She must be drinking as well. Because there's nothing. Jolene! Okay, that's it. I'm going to bring up a topic that I've got right here. Get this. Ready, everyone? Very serious. Put on your sober brain thing. Volodymyr Zelensky, leader of Ukraine, warns of a nastier phase of war as Russia says this Dugin character, the car bombing, was a contract killing. So this daughter, to let everyone know who's not aware, the daughter of a very powerful Russian citizen oligarch, the daughter had her car exploded. So Putin comes out and says, hey, right? Or Russia comes out, that was a contract killing. It's assassination, right? Now, so this is a whole new can of worms. or a bigger, uglier can of worms. I'm looking at you guys are all okay, seeing where I'm going with this, right? So Zelensky, and when I say Zelensky, not only do I mean the small, light in the loafers, turd, but also the United States, NATO, European Union, and United Kingdom. Those nations and groups, they want to switch the type of war from this special military operation that Russia's performing to liberate Luhansk and Donetsk, who want to be independent republics of Ukraine. They want to change the style of war. They want to change the style from that, military style confrontation to terror style attacks. That's what I see. Because the UK, the United States, European Union, NATO, they're applauding this. And they said so the other day. They support these types of things when they were blowing shit up in Crimea, which is not the war zone. Now, I'm going to say this. Russia has their own wet boys, operators, agents, and assassins. We remember that because a few years ago, and it was a number of years ago, we had those people in England were given some poison. They were poisoned by some Russian agents, I guess. Anyways, so Russia can use hypersonic weapons and target Zelensky, his regime, and their families. If they want to step away from this traditional army versus army thing and start using terror-style attacks, they're opening a can of worms with Putin, who has his own assassins, his own agents, his own. I mean, if we're not going to do this, army meets army thing, why not just say, well, all bets are off. We're now going to launch missiles from all kinds of places. So this attack on the daughter of an oligarch was very personal. It's no longer against a country. This was against a person. Very specific in its messaging. Assassinations, in my opinion, are always very targeted, very specific. You don't kill someone who's part of the enemy and then let them guess why they were chosen. This person was chosen for a very specific reason to send a very specific message. It's just my opinion. Well, I say be prepared for escalations, and we may not ever hear about the assassinations, but we may hear about the retaliations, right? Expect the news to detail anything that makes Russia look bad or makes Russia look weak. I want to start with you, Kaz. What's your take on this nastier?
It's like you had said, it's an expansion of the warfare. They were in a pretty traditional doctrine. I say traditional as far as warfare can go. I think when you start going, I mean, you got to remember didn't that actually happen in Moscow? Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think it did happen in Moscow.
I'll get that answer for you while you're talking.
Yeah, I believe it was in Moscow. Yes,
we can still, that was, like you said, it was a directed message, and it was clear that we can reach out here from Ukraine and get you in Moscow as well. And you have to wonder if the guys that are running around in our country may have had something to do with that. It's basically just an expansion of the warfare, and like you said, it was a very directed message. And Putin, watching the guy, he's pretty calculated. He doesn't seem to overreact, as far as like an initial thing. I actually expect to see some attacks, probably, in Kiev, in some, they'll call it terrorist actions, but against NATO. I think maybe not this week or next week or this month or next month, but probably within the next 6 months. I wouldn't be surprised to see a retaliation assassination, if you will.
Right. Chris, I want to point this question right at you because you spent time in Eastern Europe and possibly Russia. I don't know how much you want to share, but killing someone's daughter, can you shed some light on the cultural meaning behind that? I know you're not a geopolitical Russian expert, but you may know something there.
Well, I guess I would add on to what you said, that this was very specific and for a purpose, and that's why these things are done. This is a huge, an outlandish, very shocking thing intended to shock. And I know this sounds like old boring history, but Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated in an attempt to create a conflict between Austria and Serbia. And that
Right.
was the beginning of the conflagration we call World War I.
Thank you, Chris.
1 month after his assassination, there was the retaliation, and that's what kicked it all off. And then everybody dove into one side or another's defense. I spent months in Ukraine, and I visited Crimea, and my take on that, 80% of the country is Russian speaking. Most of the people are native Russians. When I was in Crimea, just as an American tourist, I was there on business, actually. I was with a development firm a group of guys that worked for me, again, brilliant programmers from Ukraine. But as we just walked around in Crimea, I went to Sevastopol to see the Russian submarine caves bored right into the cliffs of the Black Sea. Went to Sevastopol or to several different cities there. It's a beautiful area, but everybody over 40 that was in these public tourist areas was like holding signs and shouting at me. Apparently, I didn't look Ukrainian. I was dressed in American clothing, but they were shouting, "Crimea is Russia! Crimea is Russia!" They actually.
Ah, shit.
Well, while Chris is frozen, I just wanted to throw in there. The daughter was not, from what I'm seeing, the target of that assassination. It was Dugan. He was
Dugan himself.
He was supposed to be in that car, and something came up at the last minute that he got into a different car, and so she was just like the collateral damage of that attempt.
But you know that unless it's a bomb connected to the ignition switch, which I wonder if they even do those anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea that they decided to blow her anyway because the other car wasn't ignited. Chris, reset your shit, man. I wanted you to finish that. Yeah, Dugan is referred to as Russia's philosopher. Russia's philosopher. It's quite an interesting note. I haven't researched him very much. I've been busy this week, as I said, or weekend, dodging alligators in the bayou. But, it intrigued me, and I knew that we were going to have Kaz, who's got some good thoughts, and, of course, you, Uman, always examining things from different ways, and then Chris, who I knew has a lot of experience over there, and that's what we're trying to bring to everybody, is this just stinks all to high heaven. And it's like, Chris or is it Kaz? You brought it up. Fuck, someone brought it up. Alcohol's hitting me.
I just got a message from Chris. He said he lost power, so I don't know when he's going to be back there. So,
all right.
Before you get to the next super chat, I need to get another beer.
You get your beer. Nice green screen, man. All right. So I'm telling you, Kaz, this one has me more concerned than the nuclear power plant situation in Zaporizhia.
Yeah, it's clearly an escalation, and like you said, it is very poignant. I mean, especially if it was actually targeting Dugan himself. I didn't know that piece of information, so that goes even further up the list. And if this man is, and I don't know a whole lot about him, but if he is revered as they say, I mean, you got to wonder what's going to be the retaliation, because they're not going to let that slide. We're like, oh no, that's no big, no, that's not going to happen. They're not going to let it slide. So
I've had that feeling since they started taking property, real estate that's been owned around the world, as well as seizing yachts, tens of millions, 50 million, $100 million yachts.
Yes,
these oligarchs are extremely powerful and influential. They're going to want a pound of flesh.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, after the Soviet Union fell, you remember the Russian mafia was moving into places all over the country, and some of their tactics were less than honorable, if you will. We will see that. I think we could see that again, even here in our own country, if the powers that be in Russia declare that United States was somehow behind that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's safe. And I really liked how Chris tied this third string Archduke Ferdinand in frickin' Serbia.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a fucking break. That was the reason. Well, right. It's who knows who and what message is sent. And this is a topic I really wanted to get to before we got to the 2-hour mark, but we got a great crowd here, guys. Over 400 people live still. That's fantastic. But, just to say, okay, he didn't get in the car, but his daughter did, is that his only child? I don't know yet. Right. Was she slated to be somebody important, or is she betrothed to somebody important? Right. It's just incredible. Welcome back, Chris. It looked like you got hit by a freeze ray from Dr. Evil, man. You just stopped talking and we're like, hey.
Little thunderstorm going on here.
Oh, wow. Shit.
The skies look perfectly clear. What are you talking about?
Turn around, put some shock on the board there, Chris. Yeah. All right. I think we've got some super chat donations to keep going with. And there's Penelope. Penelope, God bless you, with the $50 super chat donation. She says, I'll buy you a shot. So much going on behind all the myriad of distractions. What are we missing? I have some ideas. What are your thoughts? Penelope, you don't have a show. We want to hear your thoughts. Everyone knows that I think that the world is run by a bunch of evil bastards. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm going to have a rough morning tomorrow.
I tell you what, I've got to get up at 5 a.m. and go take care of a job. And luckily it's not making the wires match up right so the car ignites properly. I have a regular job. All right. Anyways, Penelope, I think this is a terrific question. I already got the next one poured because I have a feeling that when it rains, it pours. There's a myriad of distractions. I think the IRS thing is a distraction, but it's also another puzzle piece. But yeah, what aren't we seeing that they're actually doing that's coming next? I don't even know where to begin or where to even take a stab at this. I mean, good golly, the shit that they have in mind for us. I've been prepared, Kaz. Oliver, I've been looking for this shit. Chris and I have talked for years about what's next, and they continue to pull shit out of their hat and fuck with us. Thankfully, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, those are the things I need to deal with any situation, short of a nuclear bomb going off above my bunker here and taking me out.
Well, I think you're going to have to add an eighth thing to that plan you got there, because after food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan, and a good tax lawyer. Added to that list.
And I got a great tax accountant. In fact, he's way overqualified for bartering beans and Band-Aids and bullets, but good golly, having an attorney to fight them in a court where the judge can just throw you out. But there was something interesting today, and that was that the IRS can be sued by you for improperly collecting evidence about you or information. Like, they need to go through the proper channels. But as Chris pointed out, and we've all pointed out, is they already have access to everything financial. Your social security number gets them into your bank, gets them into your job. What else is there?
Garage sales and lemonade stands.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Yep.
Shut down lemonade stands. We got reaching cold mountains before you. Well, sounds like someone wants to get in a foot race, and they'll win against me and man. But I don't know, Chris. Chris moves down the beach. You hold a bikini out in front of him. That man runs.
I trot alternating with lumbering.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Anyways, this question is estate sales, resellers, professional yard sailors, swap meters, professional offer up, Craigslist seller meterers are who they are coming for. So basically, lawful black market, illegal black market. I think everybody's now going to have to think twice. I mean, it used to be cute when you got PayPal like 20 years ago. You're like, ha, 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 I won't have to report this. Not so, man. They after a couple of years, they were like, no, we need your social security number. And it's like, oh.
Didn't they attempt to put something through that would throw a red flag for anything over $600
On Venmo, yeah.
That's been in place a long time. Anytime a business, a corporation, sole proprietorship, anytime they cut a check for more than $600, they need a W-9.
Yeah, but I'm talking about they were going to compel the banks, the retail banks, to report any transactions over $600. This is just the last couple of years.
Yeah, that was about a year or so ago. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
they
then
amended,
that-
they amended Title 31 to include down to $600. Where they need to start reporting it.
You have to pay all your bills in $599 increments.
I mean, maybe they're just going to sit down, have a little sit down with everybody and say, what was that for? What was that for? Who put, your grandma's Christmas gift check? Where'd that come from?
Well, are they going to apply it to transactions between me and Kaz? Or is it just businesses that have to report that shit?
No, you're right. The W-9 reporting for over $600 has been around for years and years. That's just a fact of life. Business to individual,
right? For
those self-employed people. But it was about a year ago, and it failed. Didn't go anywhere. But they wanted to force the banks to reveal your transaction. Any transaction over $600 was immediately electronically reported to the IRS.
Yeah, I also know with PayPal a couple of years ago, we sold a car and the guy paid me through PayPal, and at the end of the year, I got a 1099 for that. It was like $6,000 or something like that. And then when tax time came, I told my accountant what it was for, and they did whatever they did, and I don't think I had to pay taxes on it. But still, if you're over a certain threshold, they will send you a 1099.
Okay.
I don't know if that's on a single transaction or a cumulative amount over the course of the year.
I think it's single transaction because I know people that do a lot of yard sailing, swap meeting, haggling, and they do a lot of PayPal stuff, and it's never do they get anything because they're small potatoes, but cumulatively, it's over thousands of dollars. Woo! Okay, I don't trust them, right? If they're doing something, they're up to something. That's government. Man, I've got a bunch of topics. We are over the limit. And Jolene says we have three more.
No. Cottage, knock it off.
Got us. Ouch. Okay.
Cottage Farm and Nikki are going to come out here tomorrow, and they're going to do my job for me while I take a nap.
Okay. Thank you, Cottage Farm. Oh man, it gets better. It's almost sweet, and you can taste the peat that they burned. And you don't like Scotch, Oliver?
No, that peat. The next morning, it feels like I fell asleep in a peat field, and you got to brush your teeth like 5 times to get that out of your mouth. Like, give me a bourbon, give me a rye.
The first time I ever got drunk was on Scotch, and I thought, this shit tastes like wood. And now I drink Scotch, and I go, this shit tastes like wood, and I like it. It still tastes like wood, but man, do I like it. All right, she says, Kaz, John, Oliver, Vaughn, cheers. I'm drinking homemade sweet tea. How sweet it is. Oh,
cheater.
Thank you, Cottage Farm.
We got a cheater and we got a quitter.
You quitter. Okay, Jolene, who's next? Who's going to put the pain to us? It's Marilyn Myers, who generously comes in under $50.
Thank you, Marilyn.
$4.99 super chat. She says, Hubster says you need to try Sailor Jerry and get off Sissy Captain Morgan. Oh my gosh. By the way, knee replacement went great. Hubby's throwing insults at us. Holy cow. All right. Sailor Jerry. Well, in addition to the Ben Ryak, I've got the Captain Morgan here. And in addition to that, in my morning Java, I like to have a little bit of the Kraken.
Oh, I love Kraken.
Which is black roast coffee rum. This was sent to me by Jenny Jen out in California. God bless her. Sent some messages back and forth to her earlier today. I got a collection here. Got a collection, but I don't have any Sailor Jerry. Woo! Feeling good. Okay. What was that? Chris is staring at some chick in a bikini off to his right. I love you, man. All right. Jolene says we're all caught up. We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes. I want to thank you guys for coming on and doing a Knights of the Round Table, really. But next week, next time we do this, in another 3-4 weeks, you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, after Labor Day is cool with me.
All right. We got to have Vaughn on when he has more signal than like dial up. I just kept hearing this beep, beep, when he was talking. I was like, holy cow, his signal's coming in via smoke and carrier pigeon. But anyways, I think we should have Nikki. I think it would be hilarious. She's awesome, and in person, I've met her. She's a fucking firecracker.
Nikki will be a lot of fun.
Nick, she's fun. She's got her own channel on YouTube, by the way, and Chris, she battles the iguanas down there.
Right.
Yeah, she's not the gotcha iguana chick on YouTube, but she battles the iguanas. I tell you, if they ever make it up to where I'm at in Mississippi, they fucking had it, those iguanas. I'm ready for them.
John.
What? Oh, huh? Oh, iguanas. Sorry. That's a bad word. Sorry, I got Blue Cord Devil, 762 super chat donation. And he says, put this to some Scottish Vata. Will do. Okay. Thank you, Blue Cord Devil, and everyone for making this a freaking awesome show. Godspeed. God bless America. Semper Fi. And get prepared, folks. Prep to action. Thank you for tuning in. Share this address. Let me do this. There we go. This address right up here. Share that address with people so they can hear that. Look, like Chris is a businessman, Kaz is a businessman, Uman's a businessman. I can almost spell business, right? We're regular people and we see what's happening. You've got to get prepared. Kaz is with the Fourth Dimension on YouTube. Crispy Bacon, what is the name of your channel precisely so they can find it? Chris.
Oh, mine?
Yes, sir.
No, Cass changed it, John.
Yeah, I did. I changed mine.
Yeah.
I'm not putting anything out right now. I'm still trying to figure out what if I've got anything to say.
I'm indebted to you. I think the whole world is for bringing to the network the sprouts issue. So we get fresh vegetables 365 in the year. It's
that's out there, and I'm ramping up my sprout production as we speak. Yep.
Excellent. Yeah. Growing sprouts, you can grow them indoors year round. All you need is 65, 70 degrees in your house. And you've got a fresh salad daily.
And a bell jar. That's it.
The most nutritious frickin' salad you can imagine. Oh, there's ACAS 51. You're no longer Fourth Dimension?
No, I did a channel remod and started shifting the channel away from the MVE thing, with the
right
stuff. So it's now basically it's Italian hillbilly is who I am.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Bishop
I've enjoyed that. I'm subscribed to you, so when you change names, it doesn't do anything on my end.
Right.
I'm like, hey, there's that crazy bastard. He's as crazy as I am. And then Ooman, of course, is the Ooman channel. And I got one port. I don't know what to do with it. So I guess down the gullet where no man has gone before.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for coming out to play.
Cheers, guys.
I feel like the designated driver here.
Are you making liquor in your sock in the toilet there at in jail?
In the back.
What do we call that?
It's hanging right there. It's like it's hanging.
You guys are the best. I love you all, and I appreciate and love everyone out there in the audience. Thank you for supporting us. Hey, do your part. Wake up. Wake people up. Start using your rights or you'll lose them. Free speech, Second Amendment, Seventh Amendment, Fourth, Fifth, 10th. All of them, they're all special. I love all the amendments. I celebrate them every year at Christmas. You guys, it's like your penis. You use it or lose it. You gotta use it.
Man.
Use your stuff.
Damn.
Right?
You're ready for Vegas, John.
I'm not ready. Put it all on black. I'm going in. You guys be cool, man. Thank you, everybody. Signing off. Semper Fi. God bless America. Hey, chance favors the prepared mind. It's yours.